Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do, Gary, you've been on. This is your third time on, so you know what the deal is.
Third time lucky then, James.
Third time lucky.
Yeah, we'll get it right this time.
Third time lucky.
Welcome to Health Oddity, the show that strips away the jargon and hype surrounding all things health and fitness to help you live a long, strong and energetic life. Lining up at the bar this week, here's Peter Lant, Paul Bassett and James St. Pierre.
Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity podcast, episode 210. Now, we are joined by a very special guest, and we've literally just had to shut him up because he was talking away. And I said, Gary, shut up. Let's get recording and we can talk about this on the podcast. So, yes.
I was going to say, right, we might as well just say, right, you've done the intro now, James. Now do the outro, and then we'll cobble it all together because we've already done a podcast.
Deary me. Right, before we start, though, I have just got a review to read, another review to read, okay? So this is from Ali Chessel, and this is a review that was left on the Apple podcast, which is where we're trying to get people to leave reviews if they can. And this was written specifically about episode 205, which was the episode with Lucy Underdown. And Ali Chessel gave us a 5-star review and said, fantastic episode, inspirational female athlete, and a great conversation. Super good. Thanks, guys. So thank you very much, Ali, for leaving that review. If you would like to message me and let me know your choice of either t-shirt or hoodie, which color you'd like, which size you'd like. And I actually know who Ali is. She's local to me, so I'll just get the garment delivered to the gym, and you can pick it up next time I see you. But yeah, that's brilliant. So let us know what size you'd like, and we'll get that sorted. But thank you for the review, and do go to Apple Podcasts and leave us reviews. We will read them out live on the podcast, and then we will give away some free merch. So quick check-in with Mr. Peter Lant. How are you doing, Pete? You okay?
I'm doing very well. I think we should crack on the conversation because it was going very well. We've kind of lost the flow a bit now, haven't we?
Brilliant. No, we're okay. We are joined for the third time by Mr. Gary Clarke, who is in Chard in Somerset. Now, Gary has been on the podcast twice before. He was on episode 129 and 154. Now, usually I would say to you, go back and listen to the earlier ones, but I don't want you to do that this time because the podcast what we're going to be talking on the podcast today is very kind of time specific, time sensitive and of the moment. So I don't want you to kind of go away and then miss this one. So if you're listening at the time or on the day of release, and I know many of you do, it's the Friday, the 6th of September. And next weekend, so it's the 14th and 15th of September, Gary is organising, putting on and competing in Britain's Disabled Strongman and Strongwoman event. And it's going to be at Brunel University in London in the indoor athletics arena. It's going to be a big one this year. It's going to be fantastic. And we're talking to Gary about that. And a bit later on, I'll tell Health Oddity are also sponsoring the event. Pete and I are going to be there for the whole weekend, helping at the event. And there's going to be loads of other great, inspiring people there, as well as obviously all the athletes. So, Gary, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
I can't smile wide enough, James. Full of excitement for the show in 2 weeks' time.
Full of excitement and not at all stressed.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I was saying to Pete, Pete's me. I was going
to say he's still got his hair, so we're all right.
He's still got his hair. We were saying actually that before you actually came on, Gary, Pete and I said, because I know from just running very small, like the tactical strength challenge that we do at Unique Results and things, a couple of times I tried to run the afternoon and compete and join in as well.
Oh, I've been there, mate. Been there.
Well, no, and I said I just couldn't do it because you've got to have time to warm up. You've got to have time to get yourself in the right space, and then you're looking at the logistics, making sure everyone else is all right, making sure things are moving smoothly. So I just don't know how you do it, Gary. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, that's why after a couple of years ago, I managed to get floor managers in place now. So at least I haven't got to do the floor stuff all the day as well as complete, because it's just too much.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
who have you, I know you've got some cracking people going to be there. And what we're doing on this podcast is we are saying, if you are anywhere in the Southeast, if you are anywhere near London, you get yourself along for this weekend, because it's going to be incredible. It's who's the head referee this year, Gary?
The head referees none other than the 4 times world's strongest man, Magnus Magnusson.
Incredible.
We've
Yeah.
got Magnus coming over. He's been involved in Disabled Strongman for a long time. And then we've got Mr. Matt Diamond as well. We've got Hanny Bingle, who's an elite Masters powerlifter. We've also got John Williams, who was an ex-training partner of Magnus. He's been the world's strongest man a couple of times. So we've got a good pedigree. We've also got Mike coming over from America, who was the lead spotter and loader in the Magnus Adapted Worlds last year in September. I met him, was very impressed with him, and he's offered to come over and give his services to help us. So that's good.
Brilliant. And have you got?
And then you've got me and little me and James standing in the background, just going like, wait, hello.
You two are a couple of battlers, and I thank you for being.
And have you also got Stevie Shanks is coming, isn't he? He's
coming, yes.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, this is.
I was well excited when I saw, because you added him to the group last week, didn't you? And I was texting James. I was like, Stevie Shanks is coming.
Yeah, no, I've known Stevie a number of years, and he's a really top bloke. So
for people who don't know who Stevie Shanks is, just tell us, Gary, because
his father Jack, who is an absolute gentleman, he lifted the Denny stones back in 1973, I believe. And then Stevie, when he was 50 years of age, trained up to lift the stones, and he lifted them a few years ago, I believe. So about 8 years ago. So they kind of a father and son pedigree in terms of the Denny Stones history, you know.
Mm.
And it's not just us who've mentioned him, Dave. I think Dave Keown mentioned him as well, didn't he, on the podcast as well? Because obviously Dave got into stone lifting. Stevie was in the Stoneland documentary that got David into the stone lifting, and then I think David ended up on his. Stevie does like a podcast or an Instagram live or something. And did on that.
He does. He's been with Brett Nichol and Jamie Goy and people like that up in Scotland.
Yeah,
there's quite a big community, really.
Mm. And he's also the drummer. Yeah, sorry, go on, Pete.
Oh yeah, sorry, you were going to say he's a drummer in a heavy metal band.
He's also the drummer in what's the band called again? It's Flash. Yeah. Which is a Queen? Is it a Queen tribute band, or they do?
I think Flash Harry's on their own. Like Stevie's also a drummer in a Queen tribute band. Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Excellent. And I was going to say, it's amazing how all this stuff connects, because on next week's podcast, I know we talk about the connection between all the guests and how they influence people around the world and all of this sort of stuff. So then, even with the Disabled Strongman, you've got like Magnus there and stuff like that, and then people from who are competing in Strongman as well, like Matt Diamond, and then obviously all of the competitors as well, who've all got like their own stories, and we've had like Mark Tonner and Louise Greer, and
that's the unique about it. We've all got our own stories, Pete.
Yeah. A couple of others, but then, like you say, then Stevie Shanks, who then links in with David Keown and all this. So what I love about the world of strength and like in general and the kind of stuff we're trying to get, all these people are connected in some way. Yeah. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. And if people do want to come along and watch, I think it's incredible. Because I mean, we did it last year, and it's 2 great days over the course of the weekend. And it's free for spectators to come and watch. And all you're saying is, if you want to give a donation towards, I presume the kind of the running of the event and that sort of thing, then you can do that.
Absolutely, the more the merrier. It's really and like I say, you guys have been there before. You know what the situation is. You've really got to see it to believe it. And these athletes, they're all awesome, and they've got their own unique story that brings them to Disabled Strongman. I continue to be humbled, and it's an honor and a privilege, and I'm welling up even saying it, but to put a show on for these guys every year,
It is.
From my perspective of it, I mean, I'm into this sort of stuff anyway, but I didn't appreciate what it was really going to be like last year, and it's going to be a bigger event this year as well, isn't it? I mean, but I didn't really appreciate how, I don't know, just how awesome it was going to be. And then when I got Sunday, I just kept going on about it. I was going on about it for ages. And Sean was like, you need to get involved in this more because, like, you've come back a different person. You've come back so excited. And that's, but what I'm trying to say is there'll be people who are like, I'm not into strong man, strong woman competitions. I don't care about World Strong and all that. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Come along anyway, because it's kind of is that, but it's different as well because of how inspiring it all is. The people,
hasn't it? And it really kind of, the athletes sell themselves, really.
Yeah.
All I really do is put a platform out for them to show the world how awesome they are.
No, it's gonna be fantastic. And like you say, you've got Magnus coming over from Iceland.
Yeah.
You've got Matt Diamond coming over from Wales. You got all these people. Stevie Shanks is he Belfast? Is he?
He's Belfast, and we've also got Ryan Rhino on the MC.
Oh, okay, yeah, and he's from like the West Country, isn't he? He's from down your way.
Yeah, I think he's from Bristol. Ryan is,
yeah, brilliant. And it's at the Indoor Athletics Arena at Brunel University on the 14th and 15th of September. And like we said, Health Oddity are kind of getting involved with sponsoring the event as well, which we're looking forward to. I've got my
thank you very much for that as well.
We got the sign we'll be bringing down with us to put up on the stage, which would be great. And I want to talk, Gary, about, because we started talking about this before. It's connected, but everything's connected. But we started talking just before pressing record, and I said, "Look, stop. We'll talk about this when we're recording, because it's interesting." But this week, I've watched with Steph. Actually, I've watched 3 of the Rogue documentaries on YouTube, which are absolutely fantastic, and we've spoke about these in the on the podcast before. Recently with Sven Rieger, who lifted the Dinnie Stones. But I watched Stoneland, which is obviously all about Scotland and the Dinnie Stones and the Inverstone and that sort of thing. I watched Full Sturka, which is all about the Icelandic stone lifting and the Husafell stone and all the lifting stones over there. And then yesterday I watched The Commissioner of Power, which was a documentary all about, and you were just about to mention sort of Terry Todd. Which is just, I mean, those 3 documentaries, I've told so many people about them just this week, or I've shared. I had already watched part of some of them, but it was a while ago, and I really sat and watched them, and they're just absolutely fantastic, aren't they? And they're free to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, they're really well made, aren't they?
So, did you ever meet Terry Todd?
Unfortunately, not. No, I haven't met Terry Todd, but I've obviously met people that know him. I'm quite friendly with Steve Slater at one point, who makes a lot of the stuff for the Arnold shows.
He does the logs, doesn't he? Does he do the logs?
He makes the logs. That's right. Steve makes the logs. That all came about because I went out to Columbus, Ohio, for the American qualifier one year, because I'm quite friendly with Chris Faccio, who runs that. So I did the American qualifier a couple of times, and we went across to Steve Slater's hardware shop then, because Chris is very friendly with him. So Steve then, and we've been friends ever since.
Excellent.
He obviously knew Terry. And he was a lovely, lovely man, very passionate about strength and everything connected to strength. But on a personal level, no, I didn't know Terry myself. No, not.
But I mentioned that I would love to get Jan Todd on the podcast, and I think you're friends with her on Facebook and things like that. So
I'm friends with her on Facebook. I don't really know her personally, no, but I think she'd be a very good guest to have on. She was very much a pioneer for women's strength. I know that for certain.
Because she was the first woman to lift the first female to lift the Dinnie Stones, wasn't she? And they talk about that in the document.
Female powerlifters, back in that era, she had world records and everything else to her name,
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Did you say you've started watching that, Pete? You started...
I started watching it this morning actually, so I'll finish it after this because. I've got like an hour. It's only an hour and a half or something like that. I've watched about half an hour of it. But I recognised her in that because she's obviously in the Stoneland documentary, and she was the only woman to have lifted the Dinnies, wasn't she? And then in this one, it shows her on the Johnny Carson show in like 1978 and all that sort of stuff. It's amazing. It's like I just love it. I love stuff like that. And
They
it's the
went
way
back in the
it's the
70s.
way she wasn't even into it, but she got with Terry, like, you know, she got to know Terry and then was like, well, if you want to hang around with the person who you love, you end up doing the things they do, and got down the gym. And he said he'd previously realized she was taller than everyone else and all that, and she was just super strong off, like straight off. So it was like, right. But he never actually not forced her, but or whatever, but like she, you know, she'd ask him questions, he'd be like, I think you could do that. And then she'd be like, okay, I'll give it a go. And just little encouragement like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That was the 70s she did that, because I think Jan and Terry went over there and took Bill Kazmar as well.
Yeah.
Bill Kazmar is the Inverstone, press the Inverstone.
Yeah, because that's in the same documentary, and Bill Kazmaier is in it quite a lot, and Mark Henry as well. But Bill Kazmaier, who I actually ended up having quite a long chat with when I was picking up Magnus from London.
Right.
Other month, yeah, and Bill Kazmaier was just sat in the hotel waiting for a taxi, and I kind of had a good old chat with him, and he's incredible. So that's someone else that I said to Steph, we were watching the documentary, I have to try and get Bill Kazmaier on the show as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's
I thought you were going to say, oh yeah, I'll have to give Bill a ring.
I'll give Bill a ring. Yeah. But no, he'd be fantastic as well. So Gary, what do you know yet what the events, I'm just trying to kind of paint a picture really for people who might be interested in and who may potentially come along. I know that obviously Pete and myself, I know Alex, friend of the show, Alex Nicole Bennett, is coming along on the loading crew as well.
Yep.
And I know that you've got me and Pete booked in a room together again, haven't you?
I have, yeah, Morecambe and Wise, top and tail, say no more than that.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be doing that. But yeah, if people do come along, I mean, what are the events that you've got lined up for this year? Can you remember?
Okay, so we have 5 events. So day 1, we have the log. So it's a log with a difference though, because it's called a rising bar log. So basically, say it's my turn to go, right? So I'm with Chris Ricks, who is in my class as well. So we're both on the bench. So our starting weight is say 50 kilos. So we lift the log, put it back down. The spotters and owners put 5 kilos on each side. So the log goes up 10 kilos. Then we lift again, put it down, goes up 10 kilos, lift again, put it down until we can go no more. And the heaviest log each class wins, obviously.
Wow. So how much rest do you get between reps? Is it that you have to, as soon as the log has been adjusted, have you got to go again, or do you get to rest as long as you want? Or
no, it's at the referee's discretion. But we normally go, as long as you don't take the mickey, we normally go when the bar's loaded, so to speak.
Yeah, so you
it's not a max log; it's a rising bar log. So it's say if I would be able to, my max log would be probably 90, 100 kilos. I might only get 80 on this particular event because it's one after the other. Do you get what I mean? You don't get a rest in between and come back on.
You're kind of laddering up, aren't you? Doing one rep, a little bit heavier, another rep, another. Yeah, fantastic.
So it's kind of a nice little cool twist to the event, really.
Yeah, so the seated class athletes obviously do that on a bench, sat on a bench and with the log kind of on like jerk blocks or something.
Yes, jerk blocks either side of us. So what we have to do is we have to clean it to the chest and then press. It's not just straightforward press anymore. We have to clean it to the chest.
Yeah. Okay, and then the standing class athletes do the same thing, but they're cleaning the log from the floor. Is that right?
Yeah, so it would be as you would see on the TV, like World's Strongest Man or Ultimate Strongest Man or whatever people see on the TV.
And is that a rising bar?
That's
the same thing.
Well, everyone does the same event, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's the first event. What do they go on to next?
And then we go on to the loading event. So in each of our classes, we have 3 implements each to be picked up from one platform, loaded onto the other platform, and then back, and then loaded on again, and the fastest time.
Okay, and obviously
go up to 100 kilos.
Okay, so you got the log, then you've got the loading event, and then what's next?
To finish off in true Icelandic style, we have Thor's hammer hold.
Oh, okay. So that's a static front hold with Thor's hammer, yeah.
Yes, made by yours truly.
Made by. Okay, so you got your welding gear out, and you've done.
Yes, more like flash dance, I think, rather than anything else.
Okay, and what kind of weights is it? Is it different weights? Obviously, you've got female. We've got to say as well. It's strong man, but it's also strong woman as well, isn't it?
Absolutely,
You've got everything
some,
going.
some of the female athletes we've got are phenomenal. They're all everyone's phenomenal. I'll take that back. Sorry,
Yeah,
everyone's phenomenal because they've all got their own story. Like I said,
yeah.
you
So what kind of weights do you do in the static front?
so I believe they range from 8 kilos up to 20 kilos.
Okay, brilliant.
That's arms out straight like that.
Yeah, and that's day one. Yes, because you've got a lot of athletes and you've got a lot of different classes of athletes, and you've got seated and you've got standing and everything else. So day one we do 3 events. So it finishes with the Thor's hammer hold, and then so that's on the Saturday, and then day 2. What are we doing with day 2?
On the Sunday we have a dumbbell medley. So we have different weights in descending order. So say it's my class. So we do 30, 35, 40, 45.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the heaviest dumbbell done by men's standing one, seated class 1 is 60 kilos.
Okay, wow. And
So,
he's
definitely gone up in weight this year.
Is Mark Tonner competing this year again?
He'll be here, yeah.
What weight will he be using for the standing class? Because he'll
be up to 60 kilos, I believe.
60 kilo dumbbell, yeah.
Let me looking at the rap sheet now, but I think it's 60 kilos.
And he cleans that with one hand as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Cleans it, brings it up to his leg, kicks it up, cleans the 60 kilo dumbbell, which is absolutely incredible. Okay, brilliant. So you've got the dumbbell medley to start, and then what do we move into?
And then we're on to the world famous, the housewife's favourite, the Atlas Stones.
Housewife's favourite.
Housewife's favourite. I don't know why I call it that, but it just comes.
Okay, so the Atlas Stones, and that's obviously the standing class are lifting the stones from the floor up onto like barrels or platforms, aren't they?
That's correct. Yes, we haven't got barrels this year. We've got platforms.
Okay.
Bring in the platform.
Can I, for one, just say thank God for that, because that was scary last week.
No, you'll still have barrels, will you, for the seated class where you move them across, or have you got platforms?
No, it's all platforms, all the same.
So a bit more stable than last year.
Yeah, enable. That's right. Yeah.
That was like, just hold on to this barrel while this 80-kilo stone comes flying towards you. It's like, okay,
well,
mind your fingers.
They'll be more stable than my legs, that's for certain. I don't know whether we can say that, James. Can we? But I'll have to be edited out. I don't know.
No, you can say what you want, Gary. Okay. Okay, so you got the Atlas Stones, and then what's the final? Is it 5? That's the 5 events, isn't it?
That's the 5 events. Yeah, does it?
Always finishes with the Atlas Stone, doesn't it? That's kind of the last event in most of these things. Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. And then just so people know, what time are you kicking off on the Saturday and the Sunday?
We're kicking off at 10 o'clock. Is the plan? Yes.
So 10 a.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday.
Yeah.
Brunel University in the indoor athletics arena.
That's correct. I'm going to be there from Thursday onwards.
You'll be there from Thursday. Pete and I will be there.
Putting my hair out.
Putting your hair out.
Where's the keys to the hall? What's happening with this? What's happening with that? No, we'll be fine. It's all pretty much there now, to be honest with you.
Excellent. And you say you've got Rhino doing the MCing again, yeah?
He's on the MC, yes.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. And yeah, so Pete and I will be there on the Friday with Alex as well. We'll be setting up with you. I'll be picking up Magnus from the airport and bringing him, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic weekend.
We should have about 5-6 people help us setting up.
Okay.
Should be okay. Stevie will be there as well early, so
brilliant. Yeah, I want to get Stevie on the podcast afterwards as well, so we'll have a chat with him.
Yeah, by the time, so depending on James, you'll get there earlier than me because I'm going to get the train. It'll take like whatever it is, 2 hours or something like that from here, and then get the train across London. So by the time I get there, you'll be like, "Oh, I've booked Stevie on the podcast. Got a picture with him to go on the thumbnail and all that."
And we'll be like, "Oh, it's all done, Pete. Let's go and get a beer."
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I will warn you that the main thing to put down is the mats. Once the mats are down, that's the hardest part of the way.
Yeah, Excellent.
I'll get there just after that.
And Gary, are your lovely mum and dad going to be there again this year?
Well, I don't know if they're lovely, but I'm hoping they're going to be there. Yeah. If I've not annoyed them by that point.
No. Oh, that'll be brilliant. No, that'll be good. That'll be really, really good. Oh,
Yeah.
Gary, it's so good to chat to you again, mate. And I know we talk regularly anyway, so
We do. It's always a pleasure to talk to you both. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we're really looking forward to this in a couple of weekends' time. So just a reminder, guys, to everybody listening, watching, Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and 15th of September at the Brunel University Indoor Athletics Arena for Britain's strongest disabled man and woman events, which is going to be great. Lots of great athletes to watch. You can meet Magnus there as well, meet Matt Diamond, meet Stevie Shanks. You know, it's just going to be a great meet Pete, meet me and Pete and Gary as well, obviously. So Gary, I mean, just when was the first one you did of this? How many years have you been doing it now?
The first Britons was 2015.
Okay.
And that was in Stoke-on-Trent. We had one class then, so we only had 10 athletes. But
Yeah.
That's somewhere changed. You know what I mean? It's grown since then. And obviously, Martin and Becky from GB Strongman doing the qualifiers now, so they're doing a fantastic job with GB Strongman. So big mention to them.
Yeah.
And then the Britons is a qualifier for the World. So then Magnus does the Worlds in November in the NEC.
Yeah.
Excellent. I want to say before we go off there, a big, massive thank you to all the sponsors and the helpers, because without them, we couldn't put the show on. It's as simple as that. And I just can't thank you all enough.
Yeah. Well, no, Gary, and the show would not go on at all without you, mate. So you know,
I do what I can. I get stressed out about it, but I get stressed because I care about it.
No.
And I'm very passionate about it. You know what I mean?
No, I know you are. And next year will be the 10th anniversary.
Yes, if I'm still alive by then.
If you're still alive. Deary me. Right. Thank you so much, Gary. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again. And it's been great. It really has. And really looking forward to spending the weekend with you in a couple of weeks' time. And everybody, honestly, if you're in London, anywhere near London, really, get yourself down to Brunel University, because it will be something that it will blow you away, and you'll remember it. And it might, like it has with Pete and myself, kind of change our perspective on things. And
I spoke to the venue this morning, and they're very happy with how things are going. And I'm actually going up there on Monday to see them as well.
Yeah.
So just to finalize the finer points.
Brilliant. No, that is fantastic. Thank you so much, Gary. Gary, if people do want to, if people haven't heard the previous episodes with you, and they want to kind of, check you out, what you do, see your training, and obviously you share all the stuff to do with the Disabled Strongman on your Instagram and Facebook and things. What are you down on Instagram as?
So my Instagram is Strongman Gary.
Yep, Strongman Gary.
I've actually got a YouTube channel as well called Gary Clarke, UK's first disabled strongman.
Yeah.
And most of the previous shows are actually on YouTube. So if you type in Britain's Disabled Strongman competition, you'll find them.
Excellent. And it's Gary Clarke with an E on the end, yeah?
It is, yeah. We paid extra for
that. and on Facebook, but you're just Gary Clarke. You're on there as your name, aren't you? People can find you on
Gary
there.
Clarke, but I've also got a UK's first disabled strongman page as well for Facebook.
Yeah.
And there is Britain's Disabled Strongman Competition Facebook page as well. And there's an Instagram page as well.
Excellent. Because I know that when you came down for the Magnus seminar at my place a few months ago, you said that you were the first sort of disabled strongman in England, weren't you? Doing these events and things.
Yeah, I mean, I first went over to Iceland in 2011.
Yeah,
and as the UK's first ever disabled strongman athlete. So
yeah,
lay legitimate claim to that one. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant, excellent. Well, thanks so much, Gary, and we're going to see you in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah,
I will look forward to it, but I'm sure we'll speak before then, James.
we will speak before then. Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And next week we are going to be joined by Alan Willis from Australia. So he's going to be our first Australian guest, live from Australia. So we're just finalizing the time difference and getting that all sorted out. So next week we're going to have
that was expertly done, James.
Yeah, next week we'll have Alan.
I mean, let's hope we don't have any problems with that one.
yeah. So we've got Alan Willis on next week, and the week after, for episode 212, we've got the Irish physio Aidan O'Flaherty. So the Irish physio Aidan O'Flaherty is on episode 212, and next week 211 with Alan Willis from Australia. So please do like, share, subscribe, leave a review if you're watching or listening on a platform that allows you to do so, especially if you're on Apple Podcasts. We'd love reviews on there. And if you are in the Southeast near London, we would love to see you and to meet you at Brunel University on Saturday the 14th, Sunday the 15th of September for Britain's strongest disabled man, disabled woman, an incredible event that Gary puts on. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what it's like being in a kind of like a bigger venue in London, in a sports arena. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So yeah, we'll hopefully see some of you there. Thank you so much, Gary.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Pete.
You're very welcome.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Health Odyssey with Peter Lant, Paul Bassett, and James St. Pierre. To get your regular fix of hype-free health, you can subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find out more on today's and other topics at healthodyssey.com, or find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for Health Odyssey.